Esto es lo que tú querías. That's what y'all wanted, huh? I just want to first off say I appreciate all my subscribers, every one of y'all. If you new, gratitude. You new because you see my shorts based on my life, what I do, my hobbies or whatever, I appreciate it. But if you really want to get to know me, you have to watch my videos. You can start all the way at the bottom, the very, 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 very beginning bottom. Like what, I've been doing this 2 years now, and yeah, that way you could see who I am, get to know the real me and what I've been through and what I made it out of, and what I don't want to say battle, what I face daily, confidently, with the grace of God, His mercy, His love, and His protection. And if you spiritual, you know what it is. I'm not religious. I'm just very spiritual and very in tune with the laws of nature, with the laws of the universe, and how powerful prayer is, and how real the Most High God is. So, yeah. Shalom. I'm not perfect. Some might watch me and say, how does God favor him? He's vulgar. He swears, he cusses. Look at the music that he picks for his shorts and blase, splee, things of that nature. But to each his own. I don't fault you for thinking that way, But what I do know is that with the gift of discernment, you have to, and as they say, you judge one by the words, by the fruits, by the words that come out of his mouth. You judge him, by the fruits, by the tree. Like, you just, hey, what fruits is he bearing? Is he holy? Is he, but to each his own. But with that being said, I just I vibrate at a frequency where I've learned to where if when I discern somebody, I can feel their energy, but I also could tell their heart posture. Confirmation. I could tell who is who by their heart, and I pick it up quick. Even to the point where you got people that they come off as nice, genuine, sincere, kind, giving, friendly, loving, but it's like deep down inside, you can see through all that. You can sense it. You can feel it. Like, you see through all of it. And I thank God that I had that gift where I'm able to do that with people. And that's why I sometimes feel like nowadays, at the age I'm at, I don't really feel I fit in the world amongst others. And I just try to find, well, not find, just try to associate, or like our lives is a journey. And along our journey, well, me speaking for myself, along my journey, I really appreciate when I meet a genuine person, a sincere, kind-hearted person, you know. And that's not on the soft side, even like somebody with a past behind them, a savage past or a traumatic past, a lot of trauma, a lot of hurt, a lot of pain that was caused to them, or even that they have caused to others. I could still pick up on their heart, you know. You know how they say people change, true and no. You can tell when people have changed for the better. You know how they fix their heart posture and how they treat people the way you want to be treated. You know what I'm saying? But overall, I just want to say, you know, I've been kind of quiet on the videos. Excuse me. I feel like naturally God wanted me to kind of stay ISO, keep it hush hush, because it's like within this time frame of me being quiet, I was able, you know, if you quiet, you could learn a lot. You don't talk and you let other people talk, and you learn from it. You'll get hints and clues, or you just be like, yeah. You pick up on a narrative of what's going on around you, the energy of what was being done the whole time. And that's what I've done. Like, I'm basically giving, like, I'm vulnerable right now. I don't mind being vulnerable, because it's like me and vulnerability go hand in hand. Like, there's not really much you can do to me based on my vulnerability that's gonna, where you're gonna try to get an advantage over me, because it won't happen. But I've learned a lot. I've heard. And I'm still listening. And we all make mistakes. I know the spirit of forgiveness is very heavy, it's very real. Like, if you don't forgive, you will block yourself or sell yourself short on the good things that the Most High and the universe wants to grant you. So you really, it's a battle, you know. But it's like, life is short. And if you follow my channel and you have kids, you could relate. If you are a good-hearted, loving parent and you appreciate your children or your child, you know what I mean. So that's motivation right there. Because when you become a parent, it's not about you no more. It's, you know, yeah, that's motivation. That's really all the motivation you need to me. Excuse me. So, I'm humble, I'm shy with it. But I could tell that, you know, I never thought when I started my YouTube channel that, because I don't have a lot of subscribers, but I know for a fact that people are viewing when you're a part of a community or an algorithm of what you talk about. I mean, it's in my algorithm, so I know if it's in mine, it's in many others, and people are watching you. I mean, obviously, you know what you signed up for, but it's like sometimes I didn't think it would go this far to where, even to the point where I feel like, wow, you just expressing yourself. And really, I started my channel to bring awareness and help other people out who are undergoing the type of treatment that I've been through, or just experiencing it, and how for them to know that they're not alone and that you can overcome it. You know, you can fight against it, because it's all spiritual warfare. You know, confirmation. It's all spiritual. Everything's spiritual warfare. Like, you could say right now, like, hey, I don't want to get in too deep, but really, I kind of do like to, but tinfoil hat-ish type vibes, to where, like, yeah, it gets real. The rabbit hole really goes deep. But, if you ever feel like you're a targeted individual, if you ever experience gang stalking, like I say, as you get older, you start to, like, your third eye starts to open, or you know, and you start to see what's going on around you, the type of people that are coming into your lives, the who, the what, the where, the why, the how. It can make you a little, you know, if you're not stable and sane and gather all the pieces. And if you're not, like I said, you gotta have, to me, I feel you have to have some type of faith. Like, whether you started out in a family that was religious, or followed the religion, or, you know, and as you got older, you kind of branched off and learned on your own, and experienced and seen how, like, you know, you were comfortable enough to say, hey, this is really what it is. This is what I feel. This is what my soul feels. My spirit feels. You know, Holy Spirit is real. And you go from there. You start seeing the battles, acknowledging the battles that you go through in this three-dimensional world. But as you, like I say, as your faith increases, you start to see the spiritual aspect of it, to where it starts to make sense. And once that clicks, it's like, it's a wrap. There's no going back. You're going to be labeled crazy. People go look at you differently. You go feel alone. But that's part of the process, because you really never alone. You know, you got angels by your side that are watching over you and protecting you at all costs, because God made you very unique and special for this experience, this journey here on earth. Basic instructions before leaving earth, you know. So you were hand selected and picked to undergo and experience certain things in different timelines as you get older, to where He wants you to learn, experience, endure, but also you be an example to other people, to show them that He's really real. You know, like, God is real, God is love, God is peace, God is powerful. God ain't no hoe. Like, for real, He really takes care of His children all the time. And yeah, man, shit could get crazy. That's why I thank God. I just, you know, that's why I said, you know, if you got children or a child, to me, that's your biggest motivation. Because it's like, if I had no kid, I probably would have crashed. and you see this type of stuff that goes on, like, personally, I don't like social media. Like, I'm like a real old soul. I don't like cell phones. I have the same cell phone. I haven't upgraded yet, or like I've lived my life without a cell phone during times where I couldn't afford one, and really that's when I really started to get tapped in tune and receiving messages, or yeah, like, we're not gonna go there, but yeah, like, I'm really against it, because I just feel ever since those came into our lives, the world has gone to shit. You know, a lot of confusion, just a lot of bullshit. But anyway, technology is technology. It's how you use it. We or you just can't abuse it, you know, because it could get abused easily. But anyway, I said before that I was born in Puerto Rico, but I was brought here in the state I reside in by my mother, and my dad reunited with my mother after him and his family paid a private investigator to locate us. And I just feel that's where me and my family, I feel, were targeted at. And if you know the history of Puerto Rico, we're a commonwealth of the United States. But I don't want to speak on it. But you could just go on YouTube and do your history on the U.S. and Puerto Rico, how they go hand in hand, why we are a commonwealth of the U.S. And so yeah. I think we getting somewhere. Is this thing still on? Yeah, it's still on. I just say, to break it down in layman's terms, we were targeted. Growing up, I seen my parents were together until I was in the 6th grade when they separated. And in that time, I've seen, well, I'll say again, I've said it, good gosh. My parents they worked for the community. My dad did AIDS and HIV awareness within the community, within the Hispanic community, within the Black community, just within the community all in general. My mother was a social worker within the Hispanic community, and she also taught Spanish to the police department. Like, I just say they were very low-key involved with the community, like, to the point where I should say they were good at what they did, to where, like, people of the community who were higher up, I personally feel, knew who they were, you know. I mean, I remember one time my dad was like, I had to take your pictures from out my office because a client of mine recognized you. He said, "That's your son? Like, I seen him on the bus." Like, this was when I was probably like in middle school, riding the city bus. And yeah, so, you know, you start to get known, and you kind of want to remain low key. So long story short, sorry, I've seen how, first of all, the state that I live in, it's a deep state. And if you conscious like me and you know what deep state means, it's a very deep state. It's a very, I don't really want to say the word, but the main religion of this world, the society, the brotherhood, yeah, that part, Scottish rightish type vibes, yeah. The handshake, yeah, that's what we talking about. And I feel the people of this state, I just say this, I'm gonna start it like this. Me personally, as a man, and how the saying goes, to every man's weakness is a woman, right? So it's like, for example, I could say how, I don't want to say powerful, but how influential JFK was. So what they do, they sent in Marilyn Monroe. That's the past. I'll get more present. You can see how Ermias, how Nip was, how influential he was within his community, and how he was, we're not even going to talk about the industry, just in his community. So what they do, they sent the woman, who they sent, 2 L's. I don't want to say her name. And if you don't know who her daddy is, look it up. So if you get my drip, I've seen how the deep state sent, it's all a distraction. A distraction to come and invade and disrupt your family dynamic, your family peace, or just to distract and disrupt you personally. So I've seen that been done to my dad first. Then I seen it get done to my mother. As I got older, I was just like me being a father now. I'm not now, but back in 2014, I've seen how they use, and this could sound so like I don't want to say cliche, but like, yo, you digging deep on me, or you thinking too much, but nah, it is what it is. This is really what the Matrix did, because like when you a child of the Most High, when you a child of God, I say more so we share a similar mission and a purpose, and that is to bring peace, unity, just good vibes, good energy amongst our community, amongst our peers, to people whom we meet. And it's not like, oh, you're destined to be, nothing. Like, it could be major. Like, it could be major to a point, like whatever major is to you in your frame of mind. But it's like, that's another thing I wanted to include real quick. Like, to me, everything is energy, right? So when you are a powerful energy source, a good source of energy, people are attracted to you. You have the power to make people feel good, to make businesses flourish, to change someone's, if you're in a relationship, you could just turn their world up, not upside down, but uplift them. And yeah, so if you're not careful and know the spirit inside of people, because they're spirits, if you don't got the Holy Spirit or a good spirit in you, you got some demons. You need to do some shadow work, or to this day, like I still battle mine, But there's a lot of demonic evil spirits and people that resides in them, and they could wear masks and cover that up and portray themselves as a good spirit. Ooh, that's another thing. A familiar spirit. They may have a spirit in them that is familiar with a spirit in you, and that's where you get familiar spirits. It could be a generational curse, or I don't even want to get into that, but it's a familiar spirit. And if you're not keen and take heed to that and acknowledge it, it could get ready for that roller coaster ride. So that's just what it is. I am, on a daily, like, it's not, I make it look easy, but it's hard, yo. It's hard, especially when you've been in a relationship or been around someone for over a decade, for like, I'll say 13 years. Or even to y'all watching, if you older, if you've been in a marriage, or I'll say marriage for y'all. You were in this relationship for so long, and then one day, or eventually, you start to see that person for really who they are. You start to see the demonic spirits in that person. And how they just, little by little, manipulating you, gaslighting you. I'm using narcissistic terms, love bombing, or just how, like, it never was what it thought you was, what it was. Like, it never really, it was fake love. It was a mirage, an illusion. It was false. And that shit'll fuck a person up, bro. Like, to the point where, like, shit, they'll crash their party and crash theirs in their arms. Y'all see how this shit go down. And that's why I give God all the glory. It'll psychologically, mentally fuck you up. And I feel that you can overcome it in a time frame. Especially if you have kids with the person. It makes it way much harder. Way much harder. I don't care what nobody say, like, for real. Oh, I'm over that person. I respect my boundaries. Like, I get all that, but fuck all that. Like, me personally, I still get, like, I gotta check myself at times, because I could, like, man, I forgave, I'm over that shit. But it's like, it's certain moments, even if you go to the same environment, neighborhood, where you picking up your kid, if you get, you get those flashbacks of certain situations, certain traumatic experiences, or certain moments, to where, like, shit got real. And it's forever embedded in your mind, bro. You can't forget that shit. And it's like, it's even harder because it's like, you grow emotionally. Like, I say that, like, this type of shit that you go through, it helps you work on your emotions, on how to balance them, and not, not react to everything or certain shit, But it's like, I don't care what nobody say. That shit'll fuck with you, bro. To the point where you have to put up, you gotta, like, then you gotta be fake. You gotta fake it to make it in a way. You gotta put up a facade, because you're gonna be around a certain person and you personally know how much that person, I'ma just say this shit, they wanted to sacrifice me. That's to my new viewers. The ones that's been following me for a minute. Yeah, I don't even fuck with TikTok no more really like that, but I broke that shit down. Yeah. They wanted to sacrifice me more than one time. So how the fuck you think that make me feel? Do I always gotta be guarded up when I go, like I used to? Or even like my gut? Or like fuck with me when I'm getting ready to get my daughter? Or like, like your instances, your trust, like, but I balance it out with prayer. That's the only thing that fixes it and humbles me and like brings me back, keeps me grounded, and keeps me assertive and confident that that shit didn't work them times and it ain't gonna work this time. They already know by now who they fucking with. And I don't mean that in a machismo or egotistical way. I mean that in a godly way, to where like, no, this is my child. You're not gonna fuck with him. But he still fuck with me, yo. Even to the point where what really fuck with me is when there's kids involved and it's like energy. People feed off one's energy. It's like your kid could feel that shit, bro. Or if you asking your kid certain questions about, what you really shouldn't be asking them, it's like they get tired of that shit. They don't want to hear that shit. So yeah, I make this shit look easy, but it's really not. I just do it as best as I can with the help of God to give me the strength, the peace, and endurance, and the confidence and the protection, like whatever. And that's how I go all in, yo. So for y'all that's been watching for a minute, like, why the fuck you been so quiet? Cause motherfucker, I do this shit every day. It's like I take this shit to work. I get off work. Like when you got kids, like, bro, that's really your job. Like you get off work or if you got a self business, like you dedicate yourself to your child like as you supposed to, which I don't. Like I love being a dad, yo. I chose to be a dad. My daughter won no mistake. I chose that. Glory be to God. I knew what I signed up for being a dad. I ain't know what I signed up for who I had a kid with. I was hard-headed. I was living in my flesh. I was lusting. I was ignoring my intuition, ignoring my discernment, because I was still learning. Saying you live and you learn. Well, motherfucker, once you learn, you really fucking learn. But you still learning. Should I be kind to this person today? Should I send this motherfucker holy fire? Like overall, it takes two people to create a child, and I know how much my daughter values and loves both their parents. I wouldn't, you get what I'm saying? I wouldn't want nothing bad to happen to that other person. For real. Confirmation. But it's like when you go around these certain individuals, you always gotta have your fucking guard up, bro. To a certain extent, you can't. Like, I try to lay back and be cool, but it's like, bro, it's not the same. It's not the same when people plotted against you and joined covens and certain groups and made pacts. To destroy you, to get you up out of here. To take you away from your child. That's the shit that irked me. The AC just turned off. But yeah. That's my life in a nutshell. But you know, there's a reason behind it. You either built for it or you're not. And I feel I'm built for it. And I'm an example of how good God is to his children, on how I'm able to cope and endure and experience and have a good and enjoy my life, because he gave me a special child that I watched and grow and blossom, and I battled with her. I remember just the other day I pulled up after, I dropped her off, and I just thought, like, we didn't even argue. Like, seriously, I told myself that. I was like, we didn't even argue today. That's why I really advocate or enforce to, like, if you got kids, always pray over your children. Always pray over yourself, your children, your home, your family, your friends, but mainly your children. Always pray over them, because prayer is powerful. Yeah, I looked at the camera with that one. Amen. I'm going to leave it at that. I appreciate y'all. Much gratitude. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Just enjoy life. Be kind to yourself first. And that way you could be kind to others. Don't let nobody disrespect you. Don't put up with no bullshit. Like, once you sense it, it's like a shark of blood. Like, once you dead that shit right then and there. Value yourself. You are worthy. You are loved. God made you specifically. God made us all specifically. Like, you are loved. You were created in a special format. Like, he made you unique. He made you special. Learn how to get utilized. And always try to do the right thing, even though we're imperfect people. But yeah. Love yourself, love God, and love your children. And pray for them. And show them a better way. As best as you can, show them that. Spend time with them, talk to them, listen to them. Just try to be the best version of yourself. And don't be too hard on yourself. I'm going to end it with that. Appreciate y'all. Gratitude, peace, love, and light. Shalom.